Welcome to a business related Q&A. I asked you guys to ask questions via my Instagram stories about business related topics, and you did, and I'm so excited for this. He's also really excited for this because we love talking about business.
I think this is actually nicer than a usual vlog or a video, because I like to talk with you, and then it's in the camera, so it's so easy.
Yeah, you feel very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Compared to like a vlog.
Yeah.
Okay, as you may already see, Maurits is in a very comfy chair, and I'm in this chair, so he's sitting a little bit lower, but then again, he has a sensitive body, so he needs like a soft pillow. But yesterday we announced my Express collaboration, and I was all over Times Square, which was so bizarre. And then at night I won the Influencer of the Year during the Fashion Media Awards, and I literally shared the stage with Zendaya, Kate Moss. There's so many people that I look up to. It was so awesome. So thank you so much.
And she did a great speech. So if you guys can you still see it on Instagram?
I made like a storyline on my Instagram. I really dedicated my speech to you guys. I already said that in my last vlog, and I got so many responses from you guys saying that you were really inspired by that.
I even was very inspired.
And that was awesome. Honestly, that was
really good.
Awesome, and it reminds you of the reason why you started doing this. Let's begin.
Yes.
So we're going to go through some questions. Obviously, some will answer shorter and some more in depth. First one, would you expand into a clothing line business? Congrats about Express. Thank you so much. I understand that question since I'm doing this capsule, but honestly, I'm not thinking of starting my own clothing line. Starting your own clothing line is completely different compared to this capsule collection where you co-create something. And co-creating something is different than starting your own business. Gazoo is our own business, and it takes a completely different focus of yourself. And since I believe in focus, I don't believe you can be doing so many great things at the same time when they are completely different. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, and Negin, also, you learned me.
Yeah.
Right? I see in everything, I see like an opportunity, and I want to do everything. And then this is something I really learned from you, to have a focus and to be so much more successful once you do one thing really well than 10 things not so well.
Yeah, right? That's usually what I see also, you know.
Yeah.
So I really believe in a focus. Starting my own clothing line would mean that I would have to share my time between like my influencing job, Gazoo, and that clothing brand. And for now, I don't see that. Gazoo is in my blood. By the way, we do everything together. Gazoo is both of our baby. And so I would definitely do another capsule collection. I love doing it. I mean, I started with fashion on Instagram. Love fashion. And this is an absolute dream come true. But I needed a partner like Express so we could like co-create, and that's what's amazing about it. And then also this suit is from my Express collection. I think that's
I think I got the same suit.
True.
Number two.
Most important first steps creating a business with boyfriend. My first response is, not every couple is able to start a business together, and that's totally okay. It doesn't mean that if you're not able to start a business with your boyfriend, you're in a bad relationship. It's hard, let's be honest.
I agree.
Yeah,
and the thing for me, you know, if you're able to work together, make sure that your goals are very aligned, that you're on the same page of what you want to achieve.
So it's about, are you able to start a business with your boyfriend, and also are you aligned on your goals?
Yes.
How did you have the idea to create Gazoo? It went so naturally. Okay, so I started Instagram. I was sharing fashion. It was definitely a dream to start my own business one day, but I never thought of Gazoo, and I never really back then connected the dots. It wasn't until I started doing fashion on Instagram and then people were asking me about my hair and about the products that I use for my hair. So it's funny because my dad comes from a beekeeping family. There's 5 generations of beekeepers in our family, so that's very special to us. We have our bee garden. I grew up in our bee garden. We would go there every Sunday, and then my mom is a hairdresser, and up till most of you guys know, but she's the only one who touches my hair. So a lot of you guys were really interested in knowing so much more about it, so I was like, wait, I have to share this. People want to know this, and I guess I didn't realize how special it was. My mom always believed in the power of bee-based products, so she created our honey-infused hair oil, which is our first product. She used it on me and my sister and on herself, of course. But so that was really the inspiration. It went super natural, and so proud of it.
Me too.
How do you motivate your employees to work?
Yeah. I think first of all, it starts with getting the best people for your business,
but that's also at the same time the most difficult thing.
Yeah, especially now when we are growing so much. We started it was me, Negin, and an intern in 2015 with Gazoo. We launched in November 2015, and we are now with approximately 30 people. And really now the key to grow is getting the best people. And for us, it's not only about the credentials or about which business school that you went to, but it's most of all, I feel it's about the motivation. Are people willing to learn? Are people willing to, develop and put a lot of extra time into their own development? I feel that's the most important step. And then when you have those a group of talented people, and you got a clear vision on what you want to do together, the most important thing for people is that they have a certain amount of freedom within the company where they can create. Especially young people, they want that freedom to create and to be able to have the freedom to contribute in their own way. So I would say giving them the freedom and giving them also the tools to work helps a lot to motivate people.
And to the tools to develop themselves also.
Yes. By the way, this Q&A is far more serious than the relationship one, right?
How do you handle it when you disagree about business issues? We had a sort of the same question during our relationship therapy, but that was more personal. This is business. Actually, pretty much the same answer I gave in our relationship therapy. Of course, we sometimes think differently about topics, but then it's all about talking and discussing. For instance, he is thinking in a certain way, and I mean, sometimes it takes you a day to figure it out. Sometimes it takes you a bit longer, depending on how big the disagreement is. We always come to a point where we agree with one another.
Yeah, and most of the time she is right, and that's not only because I have to say this, but I think it's really true, because you tend to think things through more, but also sometimes overthink things.
I'm an overthinker.
Yeah, no. And Negin is really difficult in making decisions. So once you come into an argument, she really, she has really good arguments. And I'm more the guy, if I see something, I have to do it right away. I'm more like the guy that get things done.
He gets
and
things done.
And Negin is
sure.
more
let me give me one more day. I still want to think things through, and right.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to do it, and sometimes you are right. Yeah.
And sometimes it's important to think things through, depending on
the situation, and sometimes you just need to do it right away.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes we agree to disagree.
Yes.
Yes. Can we kiss now? Do you have a warehouse in the US to make shipping easier? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Since when?
2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
We first had a warehouse in LA, and now we have a warehouse in Chicago, because it's easier for us, because most of our customers are based either on the West Coast or on the East Coast. So Chicago is more central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you find the motivations when things go wrong?
One second.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard when because things go wrong,
And when things go wrong, everything goes wrong.
it's funny because what we've noticed is sometimes when one thing goes wrong, a lot of things go wrong, and then sometimes when something goes super good, it all just like there are multiple great things happening. Even for me, for example, right now, Italian glamour cover. Now this Express collaboration, and I'm on Times Square. Then I win the Influencer of the Year award, and we do the Gazoo pop-up here. So those are 4 major things.
But then
that
we
just
also
doesn't happen always like that.
No, but sometimes we also have weeks where,
Yeah.
or like a week where everything goes wrong. You know, production doesn't go well. You lose a big job that you worked for. You miss your flight. Like everything happens at the same time. Being an entrepreneur or being a business owner, if things go wrong, that's when the real entrepreneur or the real like winner comes out. Or how do you say that?
Yeah, you really need the persistence, right?
Yes, and then at the end everything will go well, but it's just you will be tested.
Yeah, what I've learned is to not take things personally. So I don't know if women are especially that way. I mean, I know a lot of women who think that way, but when something happens to them, they're like, why me? Or am I doing something wrong? Everybody has to deal with things that don't go the way they want it, and not taking it too personally really helps in that. And that's the way to really like go for it and keep on doing that. And in the end, that's always the best thing to do.
Yeah, and just keep on going.
Keep on going. What master did you do, and did it help you a lot to create your brand? So we both did our masters at the same university, the Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam. You did your master in
Business administration.
Business administration, and then I, for my bachelor, did international business administration, but for my masters, I did marketing. Did it help? Well, I was saying in last night's speech, I was reading a short part of the speech that Steve Jobs gave at the Stanford University, right? And that is something my professor showed me. So I'm forever grateful for her for showing me that. And
but
other
then,
than
did you have to go to university for that?
no, and that's what I wanted to say. I mean, I think there are amazing entrepreneurs who don't need any schooling. I'm definitely not saying that it's a prerequisite. Is that how you say that?
That's a fancy word.
That it's a requirement.
Okay.
But it did help me with a certain way of thinking. I feel like it's not about knowing certain things by heart, like all the material, because you learn so much. There are so many books, there's so much material, you can never remember everything. So it's for me, it's more about a way of thinking, but in the end it's very theoretical, and you need practical life is always completely different than
I feel
theoretical
that
life.
you really don't need like higher education to start a business or to be successful in business.
No, for
Especially
sure.
nowadays, things are moving so fast.
Yeah.
And like what you learn in university was maybe like 10 years ago, or maybe 20 years
Yeah,
ago
I
it
don't
was
feel
relevant.
like they don't develop that much, like it keeps being the same.
Yeah, and the things that
Especially doing at least for us, I feel like everything was a bit too theoretical, no?
and everything you need to know about what we do is freely available on the internet, right? So if you go on YouTube, you can basically learn anything.
I mean, that's how I learned most of the things from, I don't know, very simple, right? Started being an influencer, how to take a photo. Like, I'm not a professional photographer, but I want photos, so I need to figure out how to take a photo. So I would learn through tutorials on YouTube.
And there's basically no excuse for you not to have that knowledge, because that knowledge is freely available out there, especially on the internet. And I don't really think, I mean, the thing that we have learned along the way to be successful as like business owners, most of the time it was more like work ethics, not giving up, other things than that you really learn on at school.
Yeah, I wish we would learn that more.
Yeah,
for sure. But I did really, I did like doing my masters, and I feel like it did help me in a certain way.
okay.
For you it helped 0?
0.
There you go. Different opinions.
Yeah.
What are a few of the most valuable lessons you've learned through entrepreneurship?
Never giving up.
Never giving up, surrounding yourself with the best people.
Yeah, that's important also.
Yeah.
And I feel it's also super important, and you always talk about that, is that
You're giving me a lot of credits here.
yeah. I have to make
What?
So yesterday Negin was doing the speech, right? So I thought, okay, let's film it for Instagram stories, right? And I'm not really good with the camera or even with the mobile phone. I'm a little bit like old school, so I was filming, and at the end I only filmed 15 seconds because I thought it was like saving all of the other images.
So what happens, you guys know, you're on stories and you're filming, and when it takes longer than 15 seconds, it just continues, right? But then you have to save every clip individually, and he didn't know that, so he literally saved the first clip, and I had no material whatsoever to show you guys.
Yeah. So I have to be a little bit like, I have to make it up today. No, but the thing is that what you always talk about is that to wake up every day doing something you really love makes the chances of like succeeding so much more, because if you like it and something goes wrong, which it always does, you will not give up.
Yeah.
And that makes, I feel that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Okay, how do you make your own daily decisions? Do you listen to your gut or follow a strategy? Okay, we strategize a lot, but in the end, especially for me, it's all about my gut feeling. I strategize, but sometimes the very last minute I feel like, no, we have to do that, and then we go for that.
Yeah, you have a very strong feeling about that. I think for me as well, I follow my gut.
Yeah. Don't you get tired of each other? All the time.
No.
No, definitely not. It's so funny also that we've been together for 13 years. When I was little and somebody would tell me I'm in a 5-year relationship, I would be like, whoa, that's such a long time.
Maybe 6 months.
And now I don't even know where time went, so that's a good sign, I think. Okay, this is a question in Dutch, so I will translate. Maurits, do you ever want to be more in the picture than you are now, just like Negin, or you rather stay more in the background?
Background.
And why is that?
I like it.
You like it, but why do you like it?
I don't know. I'm not the kind of person who likes to be in the spotlight.
Too much, yeah.
Too much, yeah.
What parts of Gazoo do you handle, and what does Maurits handle? What are both of your unique skills?
Yeah, so I feel that's also a part of the success of our business, is that Negin and I do very different things on a daily basis. Negin is very involved in the creative side, and I'm more involved in the operational side. But together we work on the strategy and on the overall business. Yeah.
When you first started your career, did you reach out to brands to market for them? I personally didn't, but I think it's actually a good thing if you do. So for me it went, in that sense, relatively easy because I had a lot of following by then. I definitely think it's great if you reach out to brands or you go out to events to get to know brands, to start working with them. That's
I mean, there are so many people who have following on social media.
Yeah.
So in order to, get to work with brands, you need to get in
out
touch
there.
with them.
Especially now, because there are more and more. You need to get out.
Yeah.
How did you raise the capital to get started?
We didn't raise any capital. So you started in 2000.
So with Instagram, I started in 2012, and then we worked together for a couple of years, and then we literally put all our own savings into starting Gazoo.
We didn't raise any outside capital yet. So we basically
didn't want it, especially at that time. I mean, it was definitely a choice we made because we also could have chosen to keep our savings and to search for capital. But right, that's true. We didn't want to, and that's especially because when something is really your passion, You want to be in full control, and you want to have the complete freedom to do whatever you want. And that's, in my opinion, if you don't need the capital and you really believe in your plan or in your passion, you have to do it yourself, because having that freedom, again, that control, is everything that I find to be important.
Yes, and if you need to raise capital, it's super important to be aligned on the things you really want to do with the investors, right? Because if you're not aligned and the investors have a complete opposite like understanding of the business or other objectives,
maybe they're, what usually is the case as well, is that they're only after one thing, and that's making money. But I feel like, especially starting a business, it's not about earning money. To be honest with you guys, we haven't earned a single penny from Gazoo. True or untrue? True.
True.
Because we. Why are you true? Why are you laughing?
I was just saying.
Oh, I'm saying it?
Yeah.
No, it's true, because people think that we literally haven't earned anything from Gazoo. We earned from the other jobs that we're doing, but we did that on purpose, and it was a choice that we made. And the reason for that is that we wanted to reinvest. We think that reinvesting all the money that we were earning was a better thing to do, so that's what we did.
Yeah.
I'm a YouTuber, 50k subscribers, that's awesome, congrats. How can I get collabs with brands I love? Again, getting out there, right?
Yeah, getting in touch with
those brands. But like, be sure that you know what kind of collaborations do you want to do, and also especially what brands do you already love buying from, right? Because when you really use the products, it's the only way to get that message across to your audience. So make sure you know what kind of brands you want to work with, and then approach them, or go to events, try to get invited, and just hustle.
Yes.
Okay, how do you deal with being scared to get out there, even if you do believe in your business? I think, again, that speech of Steve Jobs did it for me.
Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart.
That did it for me, you guys. Did you guys have some savings when Maurits quitted his job? Okay, so this is before Gazoo, so we have to go back. When I started on Instagram, Maurits quitted his job so we could start doing things together. And the question is if we had some savings.
Yeah, because back then you weren't earning any money.
No.
So yes, we had savings.
Not so much for 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
And that's tricky, but like, we were confident that if it didn't work out
in 6 months,
we would start working.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it already?
Yeah, that's it. But I think this is a long video, no? We love doing this.
I can talk about business every day.
Yeah.
And it's not only about the money aspect of business, but it's also about the creating, about organizing everything, about working with people. It has so many aspects.
I think there's still so much we can talk about. So let us know if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.